Have you ever stopped to think about the invisible weight you carry when you don't forgive? Maybe you don't even realize it, but there's a silent force draining your energy, suffocating your soul, and preventing your life from moving forward. Resentment, hurt, and rancor are spiritual prisons. And maybe you've been stuck in one of them for years, decades, carrying pain that shouldn't be part of you anymore. Scars that never healed because you still haven't been able to release what hurt you. But answer me honestly, how much longer are you going to let the past dictate the rules of your present? How much longer are you going to allow that wound to consume your peace? We hear so much about forgiveness, but it almost always seems like a religious obligation or a nice speech, right? But no one talks about how forgiveness actually frees. Not the person who hurt, but the person who was hurt. No one talks about how the energy you accumulate when you feed resentment creates deep blockages, preventing your light from flowing, your soul from expanding, your paths from opening up. And maybe you are here right now listening to this message because you have realized that you are stuck in several areas of your life and you don't understand why. But have you ever stopped to think if it isn't precisely forgiveness that is missing? While you keep that memory of pain, betrayal, injustice alive, your vital energy remains trapped in that episode. It is as if part of your soul was frozen at the moment you were hurt. And so you go on with your life, but without realizing it, you carry invisible weights that contaminate your relationships, your health, your sleep, your joy of living. And tell me, how much longer are you going to go on like this? Freeing yourself halfway, living with only a part of what you could experience, feeling only fragments of happiness because you can never completely relax. Forgiving is not forgetting, and whoever told you that was wrong. Forgiving is remembering without feeling pain. It is remembering and realizing that it no longer defines you. It's looking back and seeing that you are no longer that hurt person, that you are greater than what was done to you, that you are not what they said, not what they made you believe. It's having the courage to let go, not so that the other person can be free, but so that you can be free. And I know it's not easy. I'm not here to deceive you with empty words. I know it hurts. I know it seems impossible to let go of the hand of the person who hurt you, the person who betrayed you, the person who turned their back on you when you needed them most. I know your heart cries out for justice. But the great spiritual truth is that until you forgive, you will remain chained to the person who hurt you, and you deserve to be free. Before I continue, I want you to stop for a moment and leave a comment here. I want to be free. I choose to forgive. Write this down. Not for me, but for yourself. Because when you say this out loud or write it down or think it, you are taking the first step towards breaking this invisible chain. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, subscribe now, like this video, and share it with anyone you know who needs to hear this message. This is very important so that we can continue to explore together the mysteries, myths, and truths about spirituality and energies. Understand one thing: when you don't forgive, you don't just block your relationship with the person who hurt you. You also block your connection with the world, with the people around you, with your spirituality, with your inner peace. Resentment creates an invisible wall between you and the blessings that are trying to reach your life. Have you ever noticed how, when you're hurt, you can't fully trust anyone? How you get defensive, waiting to be hurt again, as if at any moment someone would repeat the same mistake. This is not protection, this is prison. A prison that you yourself feed every day, every time you repeat that story to yourself, every time you relive the pain as if it were now. What if I told you that this pain no longer needs to be part of who you are? What if I told you that your soul can be light, can be clean, can be free of all this weight that you have been carrying for so long? Do you believe that? Or have you gotten used to living with this burden, thinking that this is how it is, that this is how life is, that the pain will never go away? Well, I am here to remind you, the pain goes away. What does not go away is the lesson. What does not go away is the spiritual evolution that you achieve when you decide to forgive. When you forgive, you are not saying that what happened was right. You are not agreeing with the injustice, the betrayal, the humiliation. No, you are simply saying, I will no longer allow this to control me. I will no longer let whoever hurt me continue to control my energy, my heart, my soul. I choose to be free, and being free is your right. Forgiving is one of the most powerful spiritual acts that exist because it breaks the chains that imprison you in the invisible plane. Forgiving is an energetic cleansing ritual. When you forgive, you remove from within yourself a poison that was silently eating away at your soul. And sometimes you don't even realize how much this poison makes. You're sick, but it's there, undermining your joy, making you more anxious, more suspicious, more closed off, more bitter. And the more time passes, the harder it becomes to realize that the root of all this is the lack of forgiveness. How many times have you felt that your life isn't moving forward, that things aren't flowing, that relationships repeat themselves, like a vicious cycle? Could this not be a sign that there's something inside you that needs to be healed, released, forgiven? I know that sometimes it's easier to blame others, to say that it's the world's fault, the circumstances, the people's fault. But what if you're the one who needs to make the first move? What if you're the one who needs to let go? Have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you truly lost? Have you ever imagined the lightness you would feel when you woke up in the morning without that weight on your chest, without that memory haunting you, without that resentment eating away at your joy? Have you ever imagined how your vital energy could circulate freely? How your spirituality would open up to new experiences, how your soul could expand to experience things that you can't even imagine today? The choice is yours, to remain attached to what hurt you or to choose to be free. And I know you want to be free. I know that deep down you are tired of carrying this. I know that you feel that it is time to let go, to move on, to make room for the new. So take a deep breath now. Close your eyes if you can and say, I choose to free myself. I choose to forgive. I choose to be free. And in the next part, I will show you how forgiveness not only frees your energy, but also heals your soul, transforms your story, and reconnects you with your deepest essence. Don't miss it. This is just the beginning. Understand, when you choose to forgive, you are not just doing someone else a favor. You are not simply demonstrating a nice gesture or following a moral guideline. You are opening up space within yourself, allowing the energy that was previously stagnant to flow again with fluidity. Because resentment is like a stone blocking the flow of a river, the water accumulates, presses, and rots. But when you remove this stone, the current returns, life flows, the environment changes, and the soul breathes. And don't think that this is just a metaphor. It is not. Your energy field responds immediately when you choose to let go. You may not even consciously notice it, but suddenly that tension in your shoulders diminishes, that recurring pain in your chest eases, that tiredness that seemed inexplicable begins to give way to a lightness that you have not felt for a long time. The soul is wise, and the body responds to what the soul holds. How many times have you heard stories of people who, after a process of sincere forgiveness, overcame illnesses, re-established relationships, found new professional paths, and opened new doors? This is no coincidence. This is spiritual healing. Because forgiveness does not only act on the emotional level, it reverberates in the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. Forgiveness is a realignment with your divine essence. And do you know why? Because forgiving is an act of profound love, not for the other person, but for yourself. It is you saying, I refuse to be a prisoner of the pain that someone caused me. I refuse to allow what they did to me to define who I am, determine my choices, or limit my future. And when you make this choice, you experience one of the greatest spiritual transformations that a human being can experience: inner freedom. Maybe now you are thinking, but how can I forgive someone who hurt me so much? How can I forgive someone who didn't even ask for forgiveness, who didn't even know what to do, recognizes the harm that was done to me? How can I let go of something that has left such a deep mark on my life? And I tell you, don't expect the other person to deserve it. Forgiveness does not depend on the other person's repentance. It depends only on your decision, because forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. You deserve to be free from this prison. You deserve to live with ease. You deserve to experience the peace that comes when you let go of the invisible chains that bind you to the past. And you can be sure, when you forgive, you lose nothing. On the contrary, you gain everything. You gain health, you gain energy, you gain spiritual openness, you gain space for new connections, for new opportunities, for new blessings. And the most beautiful thing, you get closer to God. Because God is love. God is forgiveness. And every time you choose to forgive, you align yourself with the divine frequency. You become more like Him. Not because you are perfect, but because you decided to let go of that which no longer serves you. And your soul knows. Your soul feels. Right now, as you hear these words, you may be reliving scenes, remembering people, episodes that hurt you, that left a mark on you. Maybe your eyes are filled with tears, your chest is tight, your throat is tight. And I tell you, don't repress it, don't hide it, let it come, let it out. This is the beginning of the healing process. Forgiveness is like a wound that you finally decide to clean. It burns, it hurts, but only then will it truly heal. Only then will it stop throbbing. Only then will it stop infecting other areas of your life. And I ask you now, with all my love, are you willing to free yourself? Are you willing to let this negative energy go? Are you willing to take this step, not for the other person, but for yourself, for your peace, for your health, for your future? If the answer is yes, take a deep breath now. Place your hands over your heart and say out loud, I choose to forgive myself. I choose to forgive those who hurt me. I choose to free myself. Do you notice what happens when you do this? Your spiritual field begins to expand. It's as if layers of pain begin to come off, as if invisible weights begin to fall. Your inner light, which had been muffled, begins to shine again, and you realize that forgiveness is not a favor, it's a necessity, it's an act of self-love. It's an essential step on your path of spiritual evolution. And I want you to understand, it doesn't have to be all at once. It doesn't have to be immediate. Forgiveness is a process, and it's okay if you can only take the first step today. It's okay if you still feel resistance, if you still feel pain. The important thing is that you've decided to start, because those who start are no longer in the same place. They're already moving, and those who are moving are already alive, already healing, already freeing themselves. Now, I want to invite you to share here in the comments. I am freeing myself. I am choosing forgiveness. Write this down as a commitment to yourself, as a milestone of this moment of transformation. And if this message spoke to you, if it touched you in some way, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And of course, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now. This is very important so that we can continue to explore together the mysteries, truths, and spiritual healing processes that lead us to a lighter, fuller life, more connected to who we really are. And remember, forgiveness does not change the past, but it transforms the future. And your future can be much lighter, much more beautiful, much more true. You just have to choose to let go.